talent, humorist Merrill Marco, writer Harlan Ellison, and columnist Maggie Gallagher. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you so much. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you so much, folks. It's great to be back. We were off last week, but the news did not stop. I guess you heard this yesterday. A ferry boat leaving Haiti sunk, and 300 people died, drowned. The boat capsized. But a tragedy was avoided when they discovered that none of them on board was a princess. So, Now, this was in the USA Today, CNN poll today. I thought this was an amazing statistic, and we're going to talk about it. 58% of women in this country, America, think there was too little coverage of the Lady Di event. Too little. And they wonder why we don't give them the remote control. I mean, too little. You know... Just for example, those bastards at the Weather Channel hardly even mentioned it. They just went on about the weather. It's been a crazy week. It was in the paper today. Diana left an estate worth $65 million, and it was also in the paper the same day. Mother Teresa, you know what she left? A couple of pairs of sandals, a change of clothes, and a bucket. And today, Al Gore called on behalf of the Democratic National Committee and asked if they would donate the bucket. I tell you. Yeah, good to see that Mother Teresa coming in a second. Boy, her funeral is going to be Saturday, and Elton John said he was starting to work on a... He was rewriting another version of Candle in the Wind, but he couldn't find a word that rhymed with leprosy, so he cut out the whole thing. Now, not that we don't have exciting women in our own country. Paula Jones is in the news once again. Her lawyer, do you know this? Paula Jones' lawyers have quit. They have quit Paula Jones because Paula Jones was asking for $700,000 and an apology. Now, the White House offered the $700,000 without the apology, and Paula turned it down, and her lawyer said, no, we're going out there, because Paula said, obviously, she cares more about honor than money. How could any lawyer work with her? All right, thanks for coming. It's all been satirized for your respect. Welcome to our show. Let us meet our panel first. The Washington Post called him one of the great living American short story writers. His 70th book is the new collection, Slippage. Harlan Ellison. Yes, sir. Buddy, how are you, bud? Good to see you. She is a syndicated columnist and affiliate scholar at the Institute for American Values. Maggie Gallagher. Hello, young lady. Good to see you again. She is a 4-time Emmy Award-winning writer whose latest book is Merrill Marco's Guide to Love. She now co-hosts a weekend talk show on KABC. Merrill Marco! There's my doll. How are you, honey? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. And finally, he stars in the critically acclaimed family drama Seventh Heaven on another network. Stephen Collins. Steve, good to see you, sir. All right, well, we were off last week. Typically, we always get off when a big news event happens. We were off right after O.J. killed his wife, allegedly. That same thing happened to us. So you can depend on when we have a vacation, something big is going to happen. Now,
is that any kind of a predictive tool?
a predictive tool.
Yeah, like a way to tell earthquakes or something?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you see that we have a hiatus coming up,
watch out.
Watch your CNN.
I don't think you should call Mara a tool under
Now-
any condition.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
not good.
This thing I mentioned in the monologue, there's a lot of aspects we want to talk about this, but 58% of women in this poll said that they feel that there was too little coverage. It was on every channel, every minute of every day. Barbara Walters would have to have come to my house personally.
But they didn't offer to give her own cable network. That's
The All Diana channel.
yeah.
Every channel was the All Diana channel.
I was disappointed. I was expecting to, this is Ted Koppel inside the casket. I thought.
But I don't mean to make too much of this O.J. connection, but this was my thinking. Now
O.J. had a much bigger coverage. O.J. was on all day, every day.
Like
Well,
this
Diana
wasn't?
was on all day, every day.
Yeah,
too.
hello. But when the O.J. trial ended, everybody was like, oh my God, black and white really are very different. They see this very differently. I think this is the same thing for men and women, because women are like, she was the greatest and we have to cover her, and you're even screwing her after she's dead. You're not giving her enough coverage. And men are like, okay, she was a nice chick. What's up with this? No, I'm serious. Men and women do not understand this on the same level.
Well, then you got to tell me what gender I am,
And
because I'm with the men.
You are.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I mean, she was the perfect. She was what our culture has made this dream of the perfect princess, and among
Why?
it's just the apotheosis of fairy tales. But she added to it physical beauty, and she just became the person.
So he's a woman.
Yeah. So
That's what we got here.
And that's what I came on the show to talk about tonight. I'm a woman, okay? Is that so bad? Is that so bad?
There's also a very tough, tragic thing in there, because here she was, going to marry the incipient king of England, and the marriage didn't go, it didn't work, and she looks like this bird with a broken wing, and she didn't play the game. She wouldn't play the game with them,
Right.
and she comes out looking like a very tough lady. I think she's probably more important dead than she ever would have been alive.
That's true of anyone who dies.
Not so. Most everybody
please.
croaks and nobody notices.
Oh, Elvis would be doing Branson, Missouri
it's
now
true.
if he was alive.
I didn't say not that there weren't some. Most people died.
Everybody looks better dead. I mean, you can't say.
No, the interesting thing, though, I think you are onto something about this difference between men and women. And the interesting thing,
Yeah.
the interesting thing to me is that although we call her a tough lady and a post-feminist princess, if you look at the images, which is what everyone hungrily devoured of Diana, they were all deeply traditionally feminine. I mean, they were the wife, they were the mother, they were the young maiden, they were the lady bountiful, and I think it's really interesting and completely politically incorrect that women responded so powerfully to what is in our culture anyway a kind of repressed image of femininity.
Now, that's what I want to understand. Why did women respond so powerfully? Steve.
Why do they buy Barbie? Thank you.
All right. We have to take a break. When we come back, we will hear from the women on the panel and the men.
If you're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 213-852-2655.
All right, we're talking about Lady Diana and different reactions of men and women. And oh, by the way, I see those pictures in Scotland of the poor kids and the dad, at least don't wear a skirt while we're going through this, Dad. Get some Dockers until this crisis is over. Anyway, we cut you off. I'm sorry. You were going to...
Well, you were talking about women and wanting more airtime for Diana and why, and I think Maggie's right that it's amazing because she is such a traditional symbol of femininity. But my wife has given my daughter numerous Barbies. And my wife's a feminist. There's just this there's this synapse here about Barbie and certain princess images that we have, and it's somehow it's
The whole princess
okay.
thing kind of bugs me. I mean, I heard people saying, lately I've been hosting a talk radio show, and I've been listening to people calling in and stuff, and somebody called in and said, she was our princess too. And I was thinking, wait a minute, didn't we fight a war simply to get rid of royalty? I mean,
Right. And also,
why do we want a princess?
This thing about she was one of us.
Yeah, isn't that odd? If we're going to have a princess, right, what's the point of having a princess who's just like us? You know, what's the point of having a royal family who's just like a regular guy? I mean, and I think we're probably being disingenuous. What we really want to say is we wish we were just like her, but we're not.
This is not the first time that Grace Kelly was the same thing. She got the same treatment.
Yeah.
Grace
Not
Kelly
as
got
big,
not as big because it was a different time. But I think Grace Kelly is the same kind of model. But what I guess is bothering me is the deification, which is a strange thing. There was a minister here in L.A. who had, and I can't remember what church it was, he had a mass for her, and his rationale for having a mass for her was that this church that he had here in L.A. was loosely affiliated with Church of England, C of E. And since she was C of E, she's our princess too. And I thought, God, are you going to sell the T-shirts out in front? You know, what's going to be? It's the need to belong to it.
That's the same thing. I hate to come back to this OJ thing, but
He was our princess,
I do
too.
think.
I'm a
Well,
little
but
upset,
people,
Bill.
but I mean, black people said, you know, he's one of us. He was never one of them any more than she was one of. You know, I saw these toothless women saying, "Oh, she was one of." Well, she wasn't. She was. You know, I mean. OJ wasn't one of them. OJ lived in Brentwood and dated white women, and she wasn't one of them either. But you know what it was? I think that they were like anti-establishment, and Diana, women
But you
like her
don't know,
because she had the rotten husband and she got away from the bad mother-in-law, right? And OJ fought the system, and he told, you know, they were both like fighting the man.
See, but the other thing about Diana is that you could admire her without envying her, because there's something comforting that someone so rich, so desirable, so beautiful, so sought after was so unhappy. It kind of makes us all feel a little bit better about our corner of the world.
That's true. Okay, we got to take another break. We'll come back to this. Of course. What else is there? Okay, you know, let's talk about this aspect of how this whole country and Britain observed this. The brother, Earl Spencer, I guess is how he goes, he said, I pledge that we, your blood family, will do all we can to continue the loving way which you were steering these two exceptional young men, so that their souls are not simply immersed by duty and tradition, but can sing openly as you planned, which is a nice sentiment.
He's a big hero in England now. Big
But
hero.
you know, for 1,000 years, singing openly was not what the royals did. That's right. And that's the way Charles was raised. You don't sing openly. It was exactly what he said, duty, immersed by duty and tradition. Is there not something to that? Isn't that what noblesse oblige means, that you have an obligation?
Not when you're as ugly as Charles. This is a man who should have gotten down on his knees every day and thanked whatever deity he worships that he was married to her, instead of, you know, Camilla Parker Bowles, who looks like a stevedore.
I agree with you, Bill. I think Charles has gotten a really bum rap. It's part of the collapse between private and public. You know, we think that because he doesn't display his emotions, we turn him into some sort of cold, unfeeling monster that we can put everything we don't like about a man and project it onto Charles.
Right.
And I think there's something admirable in this day and age in being the last Victorian, which is what he and his mother are.
When I was a kid, that was how you showed respect. By being quiet about your grieving, by not making everything has to be a talk show.
Don't you think there was something so eloquent about that male homage? Those 5 or 6 men in black walking behind, not saying a word.
I think
that's the way I like my men.
You mean during the funeral procession?
Well, yeah, during the funeral procession.
What were they going to do? Sing the Saints Go Marching In? Of course they're going to.
But wasn't that statement enough? Is what I'm saying. Just that
Yes.
homage.
I
It
think
doesn't
people
have to
maybe
be
expect anymore that, like, now all emotion is supposed to be gauged by stuff we watch on TV. Like, if someone gives you a gift, you're supposed to jump up and down and scream like they would on a game show.
Right.
And if somebody dies, you're supposed to fall to your knees and go, oh,
Yes.
my God.
Well, and you're
But
not only that, but you're supposed to do it in public. If the camera didn't capture it, it didn't happen.
But it's
Exactly.
it's also a moving camera. In the days before they had these things, when it was a still camera, that picture of reticence and grieving worked. But with a moving camera, you have to entertain it.
Yeah.
And so a person who's doing that isn't entertaining. And we
Least
say,
if there
come
were
on, give
body
us more.
language.
Yes.
But it's like we all felt very tragic, and so we're demanding that they come out like puppets on a stage and entertain us with their emotions.
I was
It's
struck by the
something
Goyishness of it. I mean, it was very Gentile. The whole thing was very Gentile.
Very Gentile.
It was very
Now,
Gentile.
what do you mean by that?
Very
Yeah.
What I mean by that is that there was
You're a woman. Don't go for a Junit.
But I'm a woman Gentile.
But
No, it was entirely white Anglo-Saxon Protestant funeral. Did you
yes.
notice that?
Well, that is Britain. But you mentioned Camilla Parker Bowles. Now, let me say something else about Charles. I would think that he would be something of a hero to women because he's married to the cute young one and he cheats on the old bag with the old bag. You know what I'm saying? It's like it would make more sense if he was married to the one who looks like a lunch lady and was cheating with Diana. But he's married to Diana, and doesn't that strike a blow for women who say, hey,
Well, he must know.
loves her for who she is?
Yeah, I actually thought about that.
Strike a blow
No,
for
it's
anything.
true. He
Guy
must
was
have-
cheating. Guy was cheating.
How many guys are married to the cute young blonde and are cheating with the older woman?
On the other hand, I feel bad for her because, you know, she isn't
wanna
that
get into
horrible
this.
looking, but everybody is comparing her to some kind of standard of dynasty, which they compare everybody to. Every person involved in any national scenario has to have the perfect looks that go with everything, and she's not so horrible.
Well, she's better looking
Everybody
than
just
Princess Anne, for example,
Well, here we go. But
Well,
who is a very good woman, I might add.
I don't want to rate this woman, you know, but I mean...
But I mean, see, that's the thing. I mean, if she weren't,
If we weren't comparing her
attached
to
him,
Diana,
you wouldn't be comparing her to Diana, and you wouldn't be comparing Diana to the cast of Dynasty. You know,
No, but I'm saying it's rare in life anywhere when
Yeah.
somebody cheats with
Yes.
an older, less
he
good
must have really loved her. I mean, he must
That's
really
what
love
I'm
her.
saying. Thank
Charles
you.
must-
See, it takes a woman
Yeah.
to explain. But right, he really,
Yeah, I think that's true.
he really loves her, but you know.
This is the most alien conversation I have heard this decade. I got to. I
you're
cannot.
not a woman.
I
You
can't.
were
I mean, I was married 4 times before Susan put up with me. You know, and I know a little about marriage, and it is not necessarily what someone looks like or their age. If someone can make you laugh, you're with them.
Well, exactly.
Hey, you see, hey.
But that's what we're saying.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but when you're the Prince of England, you have to marry a virgin. You have to marry someone. I mean,
Well, that's the problem. Here's a guy who's in his
he
30s.
couldn't marry Camilla.
He has
had
to
to marry
marry a
virgin.
17-year-old
married.
kid, for God's sakes.
Right.
And they say, well, she should have lived up to the bargain. When you're 17 years old, if you buy a car and you're 17 years old and you don't like it, you can take it back. You can't take back the king.
Did anyone else wonder why a 36-year-old woman with 2 kids was racing around at 120 miles per hour with no seatbelt? Does that? Maybe she never got to be a
Oh, I see.
teenager or
She's guilty
something.
because she didn't have her belt
No, she's
on.
not guilty, but is
that's
that
irresponsible.
It's really
but
about
is that the
seatbelt
way?
laws.
We've made it.
I didn't say she was responsible. I said, isn't that striking? It was
She's a
odd.
mother of 2. I mean, you are supposed to be
Yeah.
thinking about stuff like that when you're.
This is getting up my nose. Today, I'm listening to the paparazzi vindication. The driver had 3 times the alcohol content, and now he had an antidepressant drug in his system somewhere. So it's got to be their fault. It's not the fault of the Schmendricks riding along on the bikes behind him, chasing.
Wait a second.
It isn't.
Somebody,
Well, it might be their
and we'll
fault.
probably
Let's
never
find
know.
out.
Somebody said, either the driver said, "I'm going to lose them," or was told to lose them. There was,
driver didn't.
their lives
Somebody
were
gave
not
them
in
an order.
danger.
Right.
Their lives
Somebody
were not
gave
in
that driver an
danger.
order.
The difference
Shouldn't
between
have
a
been going
pest
that
and a
fast.
threat. They were not shooting guns at them.
Exactly.
If you're going to say step on
and
it,
this
you probably
driver,
shouldn't
this
do that.
Frenchman,
This is This is wonderful. You have no way of knowing what was said in that car.
No, we don't. We never will.
And all of the stories
Well,
that we
step
heard
on the
about
gas
the
was
driver
one of
being
them.
We
drunk.
know they're
They've
lying.
seen photos. There's no drunk driver.
No,
there weren't even any paparazzi there when they left.
The driver was drunk, and there's no
Right.
question about that. But their lives were not in danger. There was no reason to be going that fast in the.
Well, how do you
tunnel.
know? Because you weren't there.
Well, maybe they were brandishing guns.
They say they now have films. Doty's father apparently has the films that show
I agree.
headlights right in the back window, chasing them.
It should be
Jody's
investigated,
father-
and it is being investigated. So let's wait till we.
I just don't like
know what's going
paparazzi
on.
altogether.
I don't either.
Well,
I don't either. Believe me.
Harlan? Okay, we got to take a break. We'll come right back. All right, tomorrow we're going to have Zola Foster, Paul Provenza, Marion Ross, and Tia Carrera. So we got onto the paparazzi issue.
Why don't they go after Jesse Helms? The paparazzi. I mean, I would love to see 14,000 paparazzi dancing around him like mad things at a fire, at a bonfire, driving him crazy so he would have a heart attack and a stroke and then, plots. I'd like that.
Speaking as a woman, can I say something? Speaking as a woman, I don't want to see pictures of Jesse Helms naked in Saint-Tropez.
Well, why don't we just have a drunk Frenchman drive him through a tunnel?
I'd buy a ticket to that.
That's terrible.
What? What's terrible? He wasn't a drunk Frenchman?
No, he was a drunk.
This princess was killed by a frog.
I know,
I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
No, I know. I'm just trying to kill off a U.S. senator.
Do you know what else
on foreign
is
soil.
odd? I think odd about this.
Thank you.
I can't prove this, but chances are,
for
if
Jesse.
she had never gotten divorced.
Look, free monkeys!